Welcome to Making Sense of AI Together, the podcast that explores how artificial intelligence is reshaping our everyday lives. I'm Claudine Wong, journalist and news anchor.
And I'm Lisa Bernard, a former TV journalist, now creating AI content on my Instagram channel, Demystify AI. Each week, we break down the buzz, cut through the hype, and help you make sense of the AI that's becoming part of your world.
And if you liked that intro, yes, AI helped us write it. We are putting it all to the test. All right, here we are, just the two of us.
Just the two of us, I like it.
But it's because you had a very cool opportunity. ChatGPT just released this new tool, and they love their new tools, but they're also very secretive about the new tools. But you got a sneak peek. Tell us about how that happened.
Yeah, I got a sneak peek because they wanted certain people to be able to use the tool for a week. So last Tuesday morning, I had a phone call, and there were select people who were invited. I was
You were special.
very, very honored to be included. The other people, one's a teacher, one was a YouTuber who does content in French. There was a German TikToker and me. And they embargoed it, which means we couldn't tell anybody about it till today, but they let us play around with it for a week. So it was a really cool experience because we got to talk to their product team and hear what was coming and ask questions. And they're very open at OpenAI. See what I did there?
Yeah, I saw what you did there.
And debatably, they're not open because it actually is closed, but that's for another podcast. But they said this is an experiment. And also, when I visited the offices and met some of the folks there a while back, they really are iterating or experimenting. They throw things out there. They research it first, and they talk to 40 professors and people in education.
Like what might work.
But they're really interested in feedback, and they're really they say it'll be trial and error. So
if you don't like it, it's not like they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you don't like it. They're going to say, okay, you don't like it. We tried. I mean, did you get a sense for how long they've been working on this?
No, I don't know that, but I think that we'll show you a little video, a little show and tell to see what it is. It is about education. It is for students.
Okay, what's it called?
So it's called Study and Learn. And it is...
It's a very sassy name.
Study and Learn is the tool that you'll see when you go to the ChatGPT prompt box. You can go down to tools, and one will say deep learning and one will say study and learn. And it's study mode. And so they said students asked them for this. This is something that they got a request for.
Okay, so students and any grade level that we're talking about?
They're focusing mostly on college, university level students, but you can use it for SAT prep, which would mean you're a high schooler, and it's for all students.
Okay, so you made a little video to kind of explain it. Does it need any prep, or should we just play it?
No, just play it and then...
Okay, so here we're going to play it, and you can watch or listen. If you are watching or listening, you're good to go. Here we go.
This is for college students mostly, or all students really, and it basically is a step-by-step way to help students get the answer to a question. It teaches them along the way, sort of like a tutor, rather than just spitting out the answer and depriving them of the learning. So let's take a look. First, I asked it as a college student who is preparing for a test on US government, help me prepare. So it took me through the 3 branches of government, and it starts to ask questions, nudging you along the way to get the answers on your own. It validates you when you're right. It starts to make it a little more in-depth. It asks for short answer questions. So not just throwing you an answer, making you do some thinking. I then asked it for an SAT prep math word problem. And again, it takes you through little by little, solve for X, solve for Y, nudges you to get the answer. I then wanted to see if it would just give me the answer. So I kept writing, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And it does eventually give you the answer. The folks at ChatGPT say they don't want to frustrate students, and they know that tutors, if you have a real life tutor sitting next to you, will eventually give you the answer. They say students asked for this, that they wanted a way to learn as they get to the answer.
Okay. So overall, did you like it?
Um, I am not a student anymore.
We're lifelong learning,
We are
Lisa.
lifelong learning, but oh my gosh, yeah, how many cupcakes in a box of 12 if you have 96, you know. I would say that even in just the few months that since ChatGPT has arrived, we've become so accustomed and impatient to get
Hmm.
the answer. I found it a tiny bit irritating, honestly. And in the call, but no, it's very good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good because it'll help the students learn. It's
Um,
good because I think professors will be more likely to embrace it. And I think absolutely it does help a student learn. For me personally, I don't know that I would have a use for it because I'm not doing word problems for the SAT. Thank God. Been there, done that. So for me, I don't see really a use for it, but I see the value. And what they are trying to do is Socratic method so that students are not lazy and just
mhm.
getting to an answer impatiently.
Right.
It takes them through, it nudges you through,
It
but it is a little tedious. I said on the call last week, I said, I'm the kind of person when I call customer service, I say agent, agent, agent. I don't want to give them all the answers. I just want to get
yeah.
the person. But again, for young minds that are being shaped and need to learn the topic, it really is a better way.
Okay, so I have a couple questions. Um yeah, I get it, right? Like we asked ChatGPT because we're trying to figure it out. Is it we don't know how successful it is, right? It's trying to teach us something. I mean, is it going off the SAT prep book? Is it going off of like, if you study completely off study and learn on ChatGPT, is that the same as buying an SAT prep book? I don't know.
I think it is. I think that it's been trained, doing, for example, my example on the three branches of government. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know if it was like sophisticated
Yeah.
neuroscience, but I do believe they have trained on textbooks and they've trained ChatGPT on all these things. So and there are, to be fair, there's other things. You can go to Khan Academy
Yeah.
and Google and Anthropic and other places are trying to also
To
do the same.
replicate it.
So you know, I think you can find this information elsewhere. The question I think is going to be behavior. Will students want to do the right thing, have their brains methodically learn, having each answer build on the prior answer? And they say students asked for this. So that's encouraging.
That is, I mean, really, because if teachers adapt to how they test, and if you keep just saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, and get the answer, and then you get A's on all your homework and you
Hmm.
fail every test. Like if
Right.
educators adapt and say, we know you're cheating on your homework, and so we're going to test you differently in the classroom, they're going to have to figure out a way to learn it, right? Like you can buy the Cliff Notes, but you may not do as well in the test if you don't actually like kind of understand what the novel was about.
Right.
I think there's some learning that I think students understand they're going to have to do. They want to be efficient in their learning, but they have to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think if we're going to be fair and not always do it in the context of everyone wants to cheat or take a shortcut, if they're confused by something, they want to not just be able to give the answer. They want to be like, explain this to me so I understand it. So maybe that's a study and learn tool. There's
It's
also this MIT study that you
yeah.
also have talked about
Right.
on your Instagram channel that I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, so it's sort of they really do kind of work together because the MIT study found that the brain using an AI tool really isn't learning. It really is not absorbing the knowledge. And they did an experiment. It was only about 53 people, but they had them write an SAT essay, 20-minute essay, and the ones who used AI couldn't remember a sentence they had just written. Their cognitive function
Mhm.
was not the same as the people who were just doing it from their own brain. And the middle group was using Google or a search engine for help. And they found that the brain activity was truly not functioning as healthily as someone who wasn't using AI. And that is
Like
that
you're,
is a concern. And that I
yeah,
think is where sort of study and learn complements that, which is to say they're not going to just spit out the answer. You have to go
engaged.
through
You
the
have to start
process,
your brain.
yes, and get the neurons firing and the regions of the brains communicating with each other to learn it. So the way MIT did it is they had people write 3 essays, and then on the fourth one, they introduced AI to the group that had done it entirely from their own brain. And they found those students were doing better. They were the highest performers because they're saying when you introduce AI is significant. And if you introduce it after your brain has already started thinking on its own and learning on its own, then it can amplify your learning.
So it's a matter of timing.
Yes.
You can't just shortcut. You have to climb the mountain a little bit, and then it can
Yes.
help you reach the peak.
Yes, and the researchers who did the MIT study released it before peer review and before the 8 months of sort of academic rigor because she was so concerned that people will start giving ChatGPT to kindergartners. And to your point, the timing is so important. So
Mm.
you need the brain to have a
She
base.
released it early because she's like, well, I need to stop everyone before they're saying,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's worried policymakers won't sort of pause and see the urgency with having the brain think on its own, and then it can amplify, like we say, thought partner,
Yeah.
learning partner is what ChatGPT is saying with.
So the caveat being that it doesn't have to be cut out, but you have to be thoughtful about when you drop it into the
Right,
equation.
right. Your brain is not learning if it's just throwing back what an AI computer has given you. And in fact, they had some of
Yeah.
the people evaluating these papers, and the evaluators didn't know AI, regular Google, and they said that the AI essays felt soulless, and they wondered if the same person had written
Mm.
many of them.
Well, that's interesting because I actually think it's interesting because it is also that if you think about GPS and how we can't figure out, if you had to go through what streets you drove down,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't be able to do it. I don't think a lot of people wouldn't be able to do it if they've only gone by GPS because we
100%
do
agree.
not know what streets we're going down. Because it used to
Right.
be like, you'd either, first there were Thomas guides, right?
Yeah.
And then you had MapQuest where you'd like at least have to
Yes.
read it and you'd
Yes.
look and you'd read every street that came because you had to find the street. But now you don't even have to do that. Like
Right.
you just go left when you go, and you're
Right.
just following a picture. And so you
Right.
just don't even know, you don't know that the streets in San Francisco are alphabetical. You don't know
Right.
that, that the one ways and the, and how complicated it is. And I literally was, driving to San Francisco and my parents grew up in San Francisco and my dad's like, take a left here. I'm like, it's one way. He's like, it's one way that way. Come on, Claudine. It changes to two
Right.
way this way. And I'm like, oh, it does. I'm like, it's because I've been driving with GPS for so long, I'm forgetting,
That's right.
like the
I
isms.
I had a young person in the car with me who was surprised. They're like, "How do you know how to get back from the airport without the
Mm.
GPS?" I'm like, "I've done it for 25 years." The fact that was even a question is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But this reliance on technology
Yeah.
and then the brain, you know, just shuts
Yeah.
off is really dangerous. I think that's what these researchers are saying is we've got to intervene before the generation that's coming up is deprived of the learning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the flip side, one neuroscientist said it's going to be, we're going to learn so much more because we eliminate the efficiencies, like we've discussed the
Yeah.
calculator. So then we'll have more time to learn even more in-depth things. But writing an essay for your SAT, is a skill at the bottom level that you need
Yes.
to build on, build on, build
Absolutely.
on. And so I think, again, ChatGPT is introducing this tool to help students, but also I think because they think professors and universities will like it
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps say, okay, students, you can use AI, but you have to
Yes.
use study mode. And we will check to make sure that you are using this one that
Oh, yeah, that makes
brought you to
sense.
the answer. then we will permit it. And so I think that's one of the things they're getting at. Also, they're saying it acts as office hours, 24/7 office hours
Mm.
for a professor. If you can't go ask a professor a question.
Well,
um,
I think this goes back to what we're saying too, is that you have to figure out the best way to integrate it into the space in a way that makes sense, as opposed to just saying nobody use it. Right. And so I think it's interesting that they had a teacher try it out too. Right. If the teachers don't get it and they don't try it, then they're never going to want to use it, because it's, the kids can't learn it first.
right.
Right. And really, I mean, you have college age kids to say, "Oh yeah, study and learn." I mean, you might not want to use it, but if we all understand the technology, I
Mhm.
guess, and I'm sure there's going to be adjustments and different versions of this, but I mean, I just heard someone complaining about a TA the other day. Oh, my TA is the worst, right? Like my TA doesn't know anything about,
Mhm.
and they depend a lot on TAs instead of their professors, right? They may have these
Right.
amazing professors, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty questions of studying and learning, they do depend a lot on these TAs to really kind of work through that stuff before they take these,
Right.
one or two tests that test their knowledge. So,
What I like about it is, you can say quiz me, and there are other Quizlet. I don't know if your
yep,
kids use
Quizlets.
Quizlet. There are ways to reinforce the knowledge in sort of a more fun way, arguably. I mean, back in the day, yes, we only had office hours when they were listed on a Wednesday
Yeah,
from 2 to 4, and or your textbook. And so there's a great opportunity for sure for students to be
yeah,
able to have access 24/7 and to have it lead them through. And you can tweak it, right? You can say I'm a first year university student. You can say I'm an eighth grader. You can say teach me as if I'm in third grade, to make it really, really basic.
yeah.
And it does build on each other, but it does keep asking you questions. It
Mm.
definitely kept, oh, you're off to a good start. Let me ask you, what's 30 plus 5? And I was like, oh my gosh, come on, 35. I know that one.
Well,
But
it's
the
like
X's and the,
flashcards. AI flashcards is what it's
yes,
doing for you, which is, I actually think is, and I think some teachers already use it, like in high school. What is, oh, I can't even remember. There's a vocabulary um app they have to do, and I don't remember what it is,
yeah.
but I think language people do that because that's
Hmm.
an easy, and it's an easy one to log. And so I think once you figure out how to log these things and check them, and it's kind of what you said, it would check them so that we're like, you can use this.
Right. Well, and they say 1 in 3 university students is using it, and it is, their number one use case is learning.
Hmm.
And so it really does reinforce learning.
Yeah.
And as I said, the question is how much time do you have? I think we're all so used to on the fly asking a
Yes.
question, getting an answer. You get impatient, you want it right away. This really is more like a study session and having a tutor. But
Yeah.
what I like about it also is it democratizes a little bit. If you can't afford a tutor for your kid, this is a free tutor. And I do like that.
Yeah, no, I agree, because when you talk about Khan Academy, when you talk about SAT prep, when you talk
Hmm.
about those things, they are expensive. And one-on-one tutoring where they can actually answer your specific question, that's
Right.
really expensive,
Right.
and
Right.
it really, and these days trying to get into college, trying to get a scholarship, trying to do any of that. So I actually think the leveling the playing field
Right.
and the ChatGPT being free, and the um I mean, that actually, that's a really big selling point for people. And I actually, I mean, for me, I really think once they learn how to test it, how to figure out how to make sure you understand it in class, in person, maybe it goes back to, maybe kids learn cursive again,
Oh,
if they have to if they have to write
unlikely, but
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, I mean, there
Excuse me.
were students who were part of the training or the testing before it was released, and the students really liked it. They
Oh,
really
okay.
liked it, and I think that part of it is that, again, you can customize it. If you can ask it to repeat it, you can ask it to do it in another way, and some of them said that it was much more clearly explained than their professors or their
Yeah.
TAs or their textbook. And ChatGPT is trying to put little
Yeah.
emojis and make it more visual, and they're trying to make it, they have been criticized that it's so much text.
Yeah.
So they are
Oh.
trying to have more visual. Um,
And if we're fair, I think it is unfair to say that everyone is using AI to cheat. Again, like it's
right.
not that people are using AI because I think that generation also is so comfortable,
Hmm.
even though it's only been 2 years. If you're 15, that's like your whole adolescence.
Right.
It's been around, and so you're
Right.
like, whatever, it's fine. It's your familiarity with it
Right. So
is
this is
pretty.
a way to make it, I think, more palatable
Yeah.
to parents and to teachers, and to have the students start to really learn as they go, so that they are graduating with actual knowledge. So yeah, I think we'll wait and see. It was
We'll
just
wait and
released at
see.
10 a.m. this morning, but we'll see what
Okay.
people think.
All right. Looking forward to it. All right. Thanks, Lisa. Okay. Time for our
Our,
tip of the day, our hack of the day, whatever we want to call it. And you've got one for us. And
yeah, it's a job searching. It's a job searching tool on GitHub. It's an open source, so someone came up with this, and then it releases it for anybody to use. And it was just an efficient way if anyone's looking for a job while you sleep. You
oh
can be
my
looking for a
gosh,
job. Check it out.
this is intense.
An AI bot that anyone can use applied to 1,000 jobs on LinkedIn in 24 hours and got 50 interviews within the month. It's on GitHub, open source, anyone can use it. Found job openings matching preferences. It tailored the resume to each application. It personalized answers to specific employer questions and used LinkedIn's easy apply to submit. I'm Lisa Bernard, and I'm here to demystify AI for you.
That's
So,
wild.
yes, so that's wild. So, literally, while you sleep, this thing is identifying jobs, writing the cover letter, writing the resume, tailoring it to the opening. Um, Pretty efficient.
Efficient, but like I think it for me, like you're not, I mean, you put parameters of what you're looking for. You're going to get a lot of jobs that you probably aren't interested in. I bet you AI is going to probably tweak your resume to say that you probably have some skills that you might not actually have.
That's right.
Um, and then it's going to flood, like, we talked to Caroline Warner when they get
Right.
1,500, it's going to flood every job posting. And for the people who really want that job, you're just swimming through those thousands of resumes. I mean, I don't know how you get around that, but that's what I think. I'm like, oh my gosh, 1,000 jobs in a day. If everyone did that, there's a million applications and you'll never get through.
Right. So it's definitely tough on recruiters and those who are hiring if they're going to get flooded.
Yeah.
It would be useful if it finds for you some unique special job you wouldn't have found on your own. If it takes someone,
Yeah.
and says, "Oh, your skill set looks like, have you considered, doing this instead?" That could be neat. I guess if you're currently employed and working 50, 60, 70 hours a week and don't have time to job search, it would help.
I do have a feeling that some of these smaller jobs, like these employers, are not going to post, like the ones who are maybe like small mom and pops will, not that they're posting on LinkedIn, but a smaller company might just say, forget about it. We're
Right.
just going to post a sign in the window and go back to, because
Yeah.
we don't have time to go through all of these. And whoever walks by, we might just talk to them
Imagine
because
human connection, going back to
human
human
connection,
connection.
maybe this will work out better for some people because I think,
Right.
honestly, like I get it. Like I understand why people, because the daunting part of applying for a job, I mean, you just
It's a time suck.
it is, and
Hmm.
you're not sure if you're doing the right thing. You're not sure what they want to hear and what you have to do, and it's so stressful that the idea of going to bed, it's like you go to bed every day and you're like, oh, maybe I'll wake up and my video will be viral. Maybe I'll
Right.
wake up and my, the
And I'll have a
musicians who
new
are like,
job.
yeah, my song is viral and now I have a music career. Like,
Right.
I mean, we know it happens for people, but yeah, like that is wild. Like 1,000 in a day, so you could apply to 7,000 jobs in a week.
You could.
You can only take one.
You can only take one. And how do you do all those interviews? So there's
50
that.
interviews? Is that what
Yeah.
50
Yeah,
interviews?
that's a
Well,
lot of
that's
interviews.
a lot of interviews. But they also have like 5 levels of interviews, so, there's that.
Right. There's
All
that.
right.
All right.
Always a good conversation. All
Yeah.
right. Till next time.
Till next time. See ya.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you the next time on Making Sense of AI Together.
Together.